Welcome to the Thescenesnobs podcast.
Welcome to the thescenesnobs podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan. Thank you for joining us tonight. We truly appreciate it. This is a little bit of a pivot. Unfortunately, Paul is sick. He could not make it. So we are not probably going to be talking about the Olympics tonight. I want to save that to talk with him about it and things like that. So, but we wish him well. Feel better, my friend. I hope everybody's doing well. I really do. Just a couple of things I want to say before we kind of get started. Before we do, thank you, first of all, to the sponsor of this video, StubHub. We love StubHub. They're truly fantastic. I actually just went to an AJR concert last Friday night. It was a great time. We got our tickets on StubHub. Just all around, had a lot of fun. So it was, I just want to talk about that, but the StubHub process is super easy. It really is. I've never had an issue with them. So if you are looking for tickets for any type of venue around you, ball games, concerts, comedy shows, things like that, go down and check out the link below. Helps us out, and we appreciate it. And you get some awesome tickets at StubHub. So thank you again, StubHub. All right. So guys, we have some changes coming up. If you haven't had a chance to go see our Snob Nation morning show, which is moving to Sundays. That's one of the first changes I'll talk about. That's going to move to Sunday mornings. Very interactive show, so please feel free. And that's Monday mornings. Get Geek Live will still be on Wednesdays. Throw out topics in the comments, and we're going to have some fun stuff to talk about there as well. But yeah, we're going to be changing things up just a little bit. And one of those things that we're going to be changing up is we're going to be moving most of our shows over to our Patreon. But don't get worried. It's still for the free tier too. If you're following for free, you're still going to see the thescenesnobs podcast. You're still going to see all the stuff. We're just looking to kind of direct one hub for everything, because we are more than just videos. So YouTube is a great tool, but it doesn't always help. We are more than just like our skits and our quick reviews and stuff like that over on TikTok and other places as well. You know, we share everything out, and social media doesn't really have that covered to have one hub. So what we do is all patrons become a member of the Discord. Those two things are our hubs. That's the channel. You go there, you're going to get all the links and such as a free member. And then there's other shows and other things like that, special perks for paid members as well. That stuff all goes back into helping the channel. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because we have this is 9 more episodes after this before we reach our 5th anniversary special. 5 years of the thescenesnobs podcast and YouTube channel and such. So we are super stoked for it. We're very excited. And we're just gearing up. We're getting ready and stuff like that. So like I said, I want to try and get people more together when we're doing the lives. We're going to have live events. Things are going to be changing. You're going to see a lot of fun stuff come up, and you're going to want to be a part of it. We're still going to have the YouTube channel. We're going to have videos on there, stuff like that. You're still going to get the portions of the shows on there and stuff with clips and things. So, but if you want all of it, and then some, the paid tiers have their own perks, but like if you want all the stuff from YouTube first, exclusive things like that, exclusive merch drops, all this stuff, that's going to be over on our Patreon. So you can join that. Of course, it's right here on the screen or down below. You can click the link and just follow for free. Yeah, we would love to have you be part of Snob Nation, right? So I wanted to say that we are moving everything over there. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening and supporting and doing that. We really love building this community out and want to foster it and really do good stuff with it and have a great time. So guys, let's get started on the show. I've talked quite a bit. All right. Actually, no. Let's go back. I'm forgetful me. Also, all patron members, free or paid tiers, any of them, will be up for a giveaway. Actually, 2 giveaways. We are doing a Deadpool popcorn bucket, the Headpool version of it from AMC, and of course, Wolverine souvenir cup, which was pretty awesome as well. Has a little Wolverine topper figure on the top. So if you just sign up, like I said, for free or paid, whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as you're over on the Patreon, not only do you get into our Discord, but you are entered to win this. And we're going to do the drawing based on a wheel, like you've seen us do before. And everybody will be entered, and then 2 winners will be picked, one for the popcorn bucket and one for the souvenir cup. And we really can't wait. So it's either the drawing will be on when we reach 100 followers or August 20th, whichever comes first. So make sure you're there for that. All right. Guys, we got a fun show though. Originally this was going to be a takeover episode for Paul. Like, he picked the topics. That's why I move in the Olympics, because like he picked that topic. We're still going to do the sidekick topics. We're going to talk about Trap. We're going to talk about the Exorcism, review those. So, really looking forward to the episode. But I want to get started on my list because he's not here. We don't really have another topic to go. I want to kind of go with my 5 takeaways, movie sidekicks, because I think I'm going to get a little in depth with these. And not everybody may love them, and I get that. But not that you don't love the characters, but maybe you don't love my choices, or maybe some of the monikers I'm putting on my choices of sidekick. But I will say this: I am stoked to share these. Like, I really put a lot of thought into these, and like who I wanted them to be, and like who would be my top 5. Like, there's a lot of amazing sidekicks out there. I will tell you, Robin is not on my list. Why is Robin list? Well, that's a very simple question, and I'm going to tell you right now. And that is because, in my opinion, Robin is a great character. All of them great characters in the comics, and the cartoons and stuff like that. I even loved Burt Ward's Robin from the campy 1960s version, because it was campy, but it is a silly character. And I do not think that there is a good movie version of Robin. I think that's a fun, silly character that you can like. And I think we all know my stance on the other Robins. So I have to say that, to me, I had to keep Robin off the list, because this is movie sidekicks now. Now, number 5 on my list, which is probably going to be the most controversial with a lot of people, is Mr. Jack Burton. He's the sidekick. He may not look like it, he may not act like it, he may be the main focus of the movie, but for all intents and purposes, and this has been talked about at length, not by me. I mean, I have, but like not by me in this instance. The director has talked about it. Kurt Russell has mentioned it. We are following in that movie, Big Trouble in Little China, Jack Burton, but he is the sidekick. He is the guy going on the quest with the hero. And I freaking love that. I added such a great layer of it. I wish we would see more fun sidekick movies. I think that's an untapped resource, in my opinion. I realize that this movie didn't do that well, but having the focus just be on the sidekick, and I'm not talking the hero not there. I'm not talking the hero away, like they did in Big Trouble in Little China, where we're just following the sidekick as if he's the hero throughout. He thinks he's the hero. He's doing the whole thing, but Wang is the true like hero in that, and the rest of the clan and such. But he is a great sidekick, very loyal. Of course, he's going to be number 5 on my list. I love Jack Burton. I love this movie. But yeah, it might ruffle a few feathers to hear that he's a sidekick. I don't think a lot of people love to hear that, but I think it adds an element to the movie that just makes it so much better. But number 4 on my list, and very loyal, only showed up once, which is criminal. I get why not in the first movie. He was only in the second movie, and that is Short Round, right? Loyal. Look at that. Cute as a button. Amazing kid. Fights hard just like Indiana Jones, and he saves the day just like him too. And he comes with the New York Yankee fan, a New York Yankee hat, but he's a New York Yankee fan, so I love it. Short Round's a great sidekick. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. I don't know, maybe most people wouldn't put him in his top 5, but for me, all the dedication, to me, he wasn't there anymore. It's a missed opportunity that he wasn't there in either Crystal Skull or actually, I'm glad he wasn't wasted on Crystal Skull, but or the newest one, Dial of Destiny, which I didn't hate, but I didn't love it either. I felt like that was a really missed opportunity to show him. Like, you had all these people that loved Indy at the end of the movie, and you didn't. Come on, you didn't have Short Round. Give us a glimpse. But and especially with the year he was having, that would have been fantastic. But missed opportunity is what it is. Short Round is a wonderful sidekick. I think Short Round's great. So he is number 4 on my list. Now, number 3, another one to go on the adventures and was there for all of them. That is Donkey. That's right. Donkey came swooping in with Shrek, and he was like, you know what? This is my jam. This is what I'm all about. This is all I want to play right now. And he stayed. And now he's just a great freaking sidekick. You got to love him. You better not be cursing him off. Short Round is great. And Derpy was first. What's up, Derp? Thanks for joining in, guys. Appreciate it. So Shrek didn't know how good he had it with such a wonderful sidekick, because that guy kicked him in the butt. Donkey was a motivator when he needed to be. He was the voice of reason many times. Sometimes dumb as a rock, but always charming as hell. You gotta love him. He loves his dragon ass. That's true. That's him. But yeah, I love Donkey. I think Donkey is one of the greatest characters. I wish we would see more of him. And I think we will. I'm sure we're going to see more movies coming out soon enough. I haven't really kept my ear to the ground when it comes to the Donkey hotline or Shrek hotline of whether those movies are going to be coming out. But they are good. I imagine if Kung Fu Panda is coming out, it came out with a number 4 and did really well, they're going to do another Shrek. They have to. And especially Puss in Boots. That was a great movie. Yeah, they killed it with that too. So that would be a really wonderful thing to kind of get into. Yeah. So, all right, let's see what my number 2 is. I'm not going to say the same thing, but I'm going to compare him to Donkey in a way that's like the friendship aspect. I'm going to say that this one's an animal because he's not. Well, I guess we're all animals. But Chewbacca, man, life debt. He was always there. Didn't need to be. Always was. How many times did he save that man's life? How many times did he save that man's life? His life that was done, but he stayed out of loyalty. Truly great sidekick. And I hate to call Chewbacca a sidekick because Chewbacca is a war hero. Just an amazing being all around, and later becomes a high official in the Rebel Alliance, and the Republic. So listen, gotta love Chewbacca. Wonderful sidekick. I hate to call him a sidekick, but he is truly a great sidekick. The Donkey Show. Is that from a cartoon or something? Did they do the Donkey Show? I don't remember the movies as well. I do love Donkey, and I'll watch this. The second one's my favorite. I do love the first one too. Second one's my favorite. I'll probably watch that whenever it's on TV. It's like a comfort movie. My man got no medal. Yeah, Chewbacca didn't get a medal. He did get a medal. It's either I believe it was the MTV Movie Awards, and I think 1997, because that was the 20-year mark, and the movies were kind of coming back out and such. So I think it was the 1997 MTV Movie Awards where Carrie Fisher came out and gave Chewbacca a medal that Chewbacca finally deserved. And I appreciate Carrie coming out and doing that. She always loved the joke, and we appreciate her for it. All right, what's my next pick? So my number 1 pick is such an easy pick to kind of play out. Like, the only reason, like, when I think friendship, when I think of sidekick and hero friendship, there's a difference between friends and sidekick hero friendships. There's like almost an anti-friendship from one of the characters, and that's what adds that element to it. And there is, like Han and Chewie, there was that element to it, that life that I think really kind of gave that feel to it. It rectified itself later on, but that start makes it feel like psychic, like he takes more control, so that's why I get that feeling of hero sidekick, sort of just kind of like dynamic, and the same with Donkey and Shrek and Short Round. And there's clear disparity between Indy, who is the hero, and Short Round, who is gets kind of pulled into the adventure with him, loyal to him, loves him, but is pulled into the adventure with him. And then, of course, Jack Burton, we explained that whole thing. But number 1, like, he's in my opinion, is the best sidekick in movie history. And yes, there's the friendship element here, but there is the disparity element as well, and that is Samwise Gamgee. Even if it was evil forces bringing it on. So he got his flowers. Did he get flowers? No, he got a medal though. In the MTV Movie Awards he did. The question is the hero the sidekick's boss? Oh no, I'm not even talking about that movie. Of course I invite these 2 knuckleheads, and they're commenting along, you bastards. I love those brothers. But yes, that's my 5, man. That's my 5 for what do you call it? My top 5 sidekicks. So that's my top 5 sidekicks, everybody. Thank you. But I do want to kind of continue on. So if you guys have any topics you want to throw out, please feel free. We do have a lot of fun stuff coming out, though. We have a ton of videos going on. So if you want to go check out the channel, that is available as well. And again, this is kind of going to be a short episode, but I do have a lot to say about a certain movie. Actually, 2 certain movies. So, all right, let's move on here. Let's get to the next batch of what we're doing. All right. Here we go. Sorry, I'm just getting my stuff pulled up here. Let's get to the reviews. Let's do this. Let's have some fun on some reviews. That's right. We're going to review The Exorcism. I checked it out, and I had, I might be different here. Seriously, I might be different here. But I didn't hate it. I think I understand why it was so hated. That Pope's Exorcist was horrible. It is the quintessential bad exorcism film. And then like the next big exorcism movie to come out was amazing. It's actually one of the best exorcism movies since The Exorcist. We don't have a lot of great exorcism movies. We have some. There's a handful that are really great. Would I say that The Exorcism with Russell Crowe is one of those movies? I would not. But I've seen way more, and I'm talking floods and floods and floods of terrible exorcism movies. Terrible exorcism movies. In fact, most of the good exorcism movies aren't even like super horror. Some of them aren't even horror at all. But like it's the element, like we can't really revisit or get it right when it comes to The Exorcist. And it's not the base of what it was that movie. That's the thing about The Exorcist that really like haunts you, is like the movie works on so many levels. It's a great, wonderfully made movie. So when you watch it, it's got every component to really scare the hell out of you. And then Exorcist 3, I think, did pick up on it well by bringing the characters back and doing those things. The second one sucked. But Locust, Jesus. All right, get back on track. I'm reviewing a movie here, people. So you get this element of two good movies in the franchise. It wasn't really respected, the third one, back in the day, and it came far after. It came years and years after the original, of course. But again, I'm not saying there aren't good. I just said there's a handful of really good exorcism movies, but there's some truly terrible ones. Now, let's talk about The Exorcism. I think The Exorcism is getting some hate. First off, it's Russell Crowe in another Exorcist movie, right? And just coming off the heels of the Pope's Exorcist, which wasn't great. So you have that working against you. Then on top of it, and everything looks similar, like the marketing for it and such. So they really seemed like they're trying to nab that, like Russell Crowe in another Exorcism movie, and then calling it, of course, The Exorcism. But going into this, I'm like, I have no faith. Like there's more bad than there's good, in my opinion. But when it comes to this movie, I watched it and it kept me intrigued all the way up until the end. Once it's like this slow draw movie with little dumb jump cuts, but they weren't overly terrible jump cuts. Like I can name a lot of movies that are in similar vein that did not do it right. Most recently, I'll say Tarot didn't do any of it right, jump cut wise or anything like that. So to see this, I didn't mind the jump cuts too much, especially considering like there's a gravitas to Russell Crowe being there. He doesn't do a great job in this movie, but he doesn't do a terrible job either. And nobody around him does. It's very eerie feeling. If it had better jump scares and a much better wrap up, like I don't know what the hell went off on this. I understand that you needed an exorcism, but I don't even know if they followed the rules. So overall, would I ever watch this again? No, not at all. But would I call it an absolutely terrible movie? No, I would not call it an absolutely terrible movie. A few people watching. Tim is supposed to be going to yoga, but I don't know what he's doing. Outside of zombie movies, exorcism movies might be the ones where the worst films are made. Yeah, because people don't even get it. Like you have this idea in the exorcism movies that the exorcists are these big heroes. They didn't win in the first one. Nobody won. The girl survived, but nobody won. Like the demon won, really, kind of. Well, not really, but like eventually. It's an odd scenario, but like we have this idea of like we treat and the only one who's ever really got it right where it's like the heroes doing exorcisms was Constantine, in my opinion, which to me was a horror action movie, but I wouldn't straight up call it a horror movie. They did great in the movie, and I'm looking forward to it, and I would love to see a sequel, but you know what I mean. Exorcism Emily Rose was a good one. Yeah, it's not that bad. You want names? You want the names of stuff? Well, no, we're talking about the Exorcism right now, but maybe in the future for a Halloween episode, I'll talk about that. Snobtober is coming up. So, but yeah, when it came to the Exorcism, I thought it was pretty good until that ending, and it is like the last like 15 minutes or so where just the action ramps up. What's his name? Adam Goldberg's in this, and he plays a real dickhead. He's just a piece of shit throughout the entire thing. Not a good character at all. I like Adam Goldberg. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting him down, but it's just a real piece of shit character. Like he's a guy who's poking an alcoholic and a drug addict who's trying to recover into like almost like start drinking again. Like so there were elements to it. Like, but I get why. Like I don't think it's a bad thing to do, but I get why his character was doing it in the movie and where it came from. So like it was still an interesting aspect of it. What he was trying to tap into. It's just such a deceiving way to do it. and disgusting for sure. Yeah. And so my rating for this, and Paul gave a rating for it too, so I'm gonna share that with you guys as well. Paul gave it a half a star. I gave it a 2. This does not fall in the worst of the worst type of exorcism movies for me. I think this is actually a pretty good exorcism movie before, if you don't count the actual exorcism. It had like a very dry, slow burn sort of feel. And then again, it amps up into like, we're going to make this ours. Like somebody did a rewrite the night before. It just felt weird. But yeah, no, overall though, check it out. I don't want to say nobody should check it out, but I didn't love it. Maybe watch the first half and then go watch The Pope's Exorcist. Who knows? But I also want to talk about Trap. Yeah, I'm excited. That's right. Trap. That's right. We're talking about Trap. We're going to review this movie from M. Night Shyamalan, newest one. I did like... I'm giving you fair warning, anybody who's watching. I did like Knock at the Cabin Door. I realized there was the fan base was divided on that. You know what? I'll give my defense of M. Night Shyamalan at the end. That's how I'll finish the show off. Let's review Trap. Let's talk about this movie. Trap is a movie, for anyone who doesn't know, coming into it, it's a guy who takes his daughter to a Taylor Swift type of and the reason I say not Taylor Swift, because she's in stadiums, and this was like very much an arena and for reason, but so it's like that Taylor Swift type of performer called Lady Raven, daughter's favorite singer. He's taking her. He realizes there's a huge police element there. They're blocking everybody in, checking people, stuff like that. So he's kind of like, what's going on? So then we get to this part where you have you find out he's like the serial killer called the Butcher, and he has somebody taken. So he finds out that they're there for him. This whole concert's a trap, and it's all to catch him because they caught word that he's going to be there. So it becomes like this desperate attempt to try and escape when everywhere is completely covered. Everyone's watching. Like there are hundreds of cops there. Everyone's in on it. Like the Lady Raven, the singer, she's in on it. The whole nut. I'm going to try not to give too many spoilers because there is a bit of a twist that comes at the end. We're not looking at the Sixth Sense here, but like there's a bit, so I don't want to give up too many spoilers, but right out of the trailer, they tell you he's a serial killer and it's all a trap for him. It does break away, which I thought was smart, about halfway, maybe a little bit more, out of the concert element. And he does get out of it. I'm not going to tell you how. I'm not going to tell you which way it goes, but I will tell you that the actors in it, Josh Hartnett, first of all, wow. Did a great job. Had so much fun watching him in this movie. His facial expressions and his emotion. I talked about this on the Snob Nation morning show on Sunday. I really love when an actor can change on a dime, like switch it on and off and like go to a different emotion, and tell a story with their facial expressions. And he did it perfectly. I can't take that away from him. He did it so well so many times. He had to like switch faces, and I'm not even saying just quickly, like you saw sometimes like the smile, like this look of despair and worry in his eyes, but his like creepy smile with it. But then it grows into like a real smile. Like you see it like turn. He's got two different personalities that are just, and I'm not saying he has two different personalities, but he has two different personalities he knows he has to live by, being this killer. So it's really well done. I like that. He did such a great job. The little girl was really good. The young lady who played, and I would say she's probably about 11 or 12. That's why I said little girl. But the young lady who played Lady Raven she did a good job. Like her acting, I don't think is in the same caliber. She's young, and it seems like she's just starting out. I don't know if she's been in anything else. I haven't seen her in anything else. And she may be well established, but you can definitely see where it's maybe choppy, compared to, working with like somebody like Josh Hartnett or something, or others in the movie. But she is an amazing singer, and she did a good job, like playing it up and like getting into the role. So I'm not saying it was bad. I've seen bad acting. It wasn't that. It was just that you could tell a certain level of acting coming in, even like the little girl in it compared to Josh Hartnett, who has all of this stuff and emotion he has to play. You could tell there's a big difference there. So just in caliber of acting. So, but again, nothing took away from it. Everybody was so into it and into the role. I've heard a lot of people, I think this movie is a big suspension of disbelief. This movie reminds me a lot of the old thrillers like The Manchurian Candidate or thrillers like that, like a lot of those, old heist movies, things like that in tone. There's this horror element too, but it's not really. I would call this a thriller. I even like this compared to like a body heat or something like that, where take the sexualization out of it, but like the intensity is there. The trapped feeling is there. I don't understand why so many people are hating on it, especially considering the, you know, what it brings to the table. Like they do, like I've heard a lot of people talk about like certain elements, like when he goes into the police room and they're all doing like this huddle and they're all talking and he's just kind of walking through and he's, oh, excuse me, you know, and he's like, gotta change the coffee and stuff. So like he's playing it up. He has a work badge that he stole, and that at that point, and this is only a little scene to kind of give you an idea, because I've heard this scene talked about quite a bit. And it's gonna, I might have a little bit of spoiler talk, but I'll put up the banner for that. But you know, so for this scene, like he's walking through, and as he's walking through, he's like, hey, sorry, I gotta go. And he's like real, like kind of creeping, and they're all just moving out of his way. And a lot of people said that's really unbelievable. Like, oh, they wouldn't recognize him, this, that, and the other thing. One, no, they would not recognize him. Nobody would say they'd recognize him. He wasn't being overly, yes, there's a lot going on, but again, the guy's got the badge, got the thing, and he's just walking through. He's like, hey, I gotta go do this. Most people will react that way, not really ask so many questions, especially if he's engaging and he's actively talking to people. It's weird. I'm not saying it should be that way, but I'm not going to say I didn't sneak on certain lots to try and go network and meet people during my time as a filmmaker. And it can be easy if you know how to maneuver like that. It's scary now to think about it with like a serial killer in a movie, but it can happen. I've seen it. I've seen people do it, you know, in bars and like go up to other groups and just start hanging out. Not like, it's weird. I've seen it, but it can happen. So like when people were saying that's a tough one, I was like, that's one of the easiest believable things. There's a lot of things in this movie that I'm like, this isn't that believable. Like to kind of, let me throw up the spoilers, because I'm trying to like not say anything but I do kind of want to talk about certain elements to it. One of the biggest things that I heard that was hard to believe was like, how did like nobody recognize him if he's pretending to be an employee, stuff like that? Very easily. There's no way they sat everyone down at the same exact time that worked there and said, this is the plan, we're going to show you everything, we're going to run it through, if you have any questions you can ask you. What they did was they took all of those employees, probably not many days before, even if this was well choreographed, because let's face facts, it's hard to get employees there. And that's going to come to my next point, but like where I strike against this movie a little bit, there's so many missteps by the police in this that cannot exist in thrillers today. Fans, not that fans weren't smarter then, but fans didn't have the access to information they have back in like the 70s, the 60s, or the 80s, when you saw this stuff. They didn't have that access to, like, that's why we believe like you only get one phone call. That's why we believe all this stuff they say about cops in movies and stuff like that. That's not how, like, they would probably, if they were going to do this, which is this is the dumbest trap idea of all time. You're putting 30,000 fans at risk. You really would. The guy blew the place just not to get caught. Like, what are you doing? So you got this guy, so there's a lot of fantastical. So you have to have some suspension of disbelief with certain elements in this, the easier elements. So I will have a suspension of disbelief with this movie that this was the trap, this was their best option, and they were going to do it. But it's hard for me to believe that they would keep the employees there for this event. Or at the very least, if they couldn't get enough police to go undercover as merch table or as food people or stuff like that, it's very hard to believe that they didn't have someone, an undercover in the uniform, working at every single area, like just to watch. So like when that one guy is telling him all this information, the guy walks up, he's like, hey, focus on your job or something, man. Like, don't talk about all this stuff, so like that's the stuff that is hard for me to believe a little bit about this. The end too, and this is because the spoilers up, I'll talk about it a little bit. So if you haven't seen him, you don't want to hear this, but he does get caught in and the twist of it, again, so if you guys still watching, that's on you. But the twist of it is that his wife figured out who he was because she thought he was cheating on her. And when she found out who he was, she left a clue for the police and called them anonymously to say, I think I know who the butcher is. I think the butcher's place. He has, I found a ticket stub or whatever to this concert. And the police set up this trap because it's the only way they can get to him. He's meticulous about everything. He's obsessed about all of it. So interestingly enough, we get to that point. but he's caught, and like the police let him like bend over and pick his kid's bike up and set it up and like all of this stuff. I'm like, they're not holding him, they're not carrying. Like, this dude just killed 2 cops too, you know, like he just, and not to mention a mess of a load of other people even at that concert. So now you get to this point and they just are kind of like walking around him with their guns on him, and then he stops, picks up a bike, and then steals the bike, this bike spoke, and you know, it assumes that he got away. So I will say this, Haley Mills is in it, and I said this joke before and I'm going to say it again. Miss Bliss sucks at catching troublemakers. That's all I know. She was good, and I love Haley Mills from back in the day, all her old movies and stuff like that. So to see her pop up in this movie was kind of cool. So it was a pleasure. She plays the FBI profiler who puts together the trap. She's been trying to find the butcher for a long time. Not enough with her. This could have been a very cool Loomis and Michael sort of vibe. I wish there was more from her. She does a good job in it. I mean, all of her scenes, she does really well. But I wish there was more. We got more from her perspective. We get pretty much the entire perspective from Josh Hartnett, and he carries the movie greatly. But that would have been a cool element to have, is that cat and mouse type of element. But this one felt like it fits in like the Split universe and that Unbreakable Split universe sort of thing. Like, he could be another one of the bad guys from there. I don't know how. We know how that movie ended with Glass, but you guys let me know. That's my review of Trap. But before we get going, I want to share my rating for it. And I'm going to share Paul's rating as well. And let me move the banner so you guys can see everything. No more spoilers. There we go. So we both gave it a 3 out of 5. I really liked it. I would watch this movie again. There's some elements to it. It's by no means am I saying this is a great movie. It's not one of M. Night Shyamalan's best. It's one of his better films, though, and I think he gets a lot of shit. So I'm going to come to the defense a little bit of of M. Night Shyamalan. So I think M. Night Shyamalan, in my opinion, is somebody who's a pretty good filmmaker. He makes nice looking movies. He tells pretty good stories. His twists, I think, are a crutch. And they've turned into that. But he became famous for his twist from his first movie. You know, like, it always bothered me that, like, because when you watch Unbreakable, yeah, there's a twist to it, but it's not overt and it's not terrible. It's just, there's a twist to it. He seems to like twists. People were just pissed about that movie because it wasn't as like amazing of a twist as I See Dead People. Like, we get it. And then Bruce at the end, we get it. But Unbreakable, I think, is one of his best movies. Split being another one, you know, and all within that world. I'm not a huge fan of The Sixth Sense. Good movie, but I don't love it like so many people do. And I don't think it's the pinnacle. I think it's a first movie that had a really good kind of hook to it, you know, sort of that twist to it, I should say. But yeah, it was a good movie. That was a good freshman movie. I think Unbreakable is a great sophomore movie. And then, like, I feel like the studios just kept pounding him to keep doing twists and write twists in. It has to have a twist. And it's not just that. Like, I feel like that was like the hit of the day. Every freaking studio was doing twist movies. And they were annoying. Oh, and I do blame not just The Sixth Sense. I also blame Fight Club for that. That had a huge twist to it too, as well. But yeah, I don't know. To my defense of M. Night Shyamalan is, like, he's made a lot of movies I've enjoyed. Again, like, this is on the same level as like an Old or, you know, Signs or something like. I don't understand why people just hate him. Why? This is a good movie. You know, he makes pretty good movies. He makes it with fun, different. Like, I watch the same shit over and over again. So many horror filmmakers are making the same shit over and over again. But this guy comes in and he's telling a different tale. Knock at the Cabin is a very different movie from this, you know, but same sort of vibe. Even The Watchers, I didn't like The Watchers. That's his daughter's movie. He produced it. And the reason I bring that in is because clearly, like, it's his daughter. He had influence on her life. So you when I think about, you know, how his daughter's movie was, it's still a beautiful movie. Atmosphere is great. And I did a full review on it, so you check it out. But, like, it just lacked in a story. There were some holes. Her father is the same way, just better at it, in my opinion. It's just more interesting. So, you know, you watch that, and you know, you watch his movies, and I just think I like them. The one I like the least is The Lady in the Water, but I know people love that movie. So I think that he gets a bad rap. I think, you know, where he would shine the most. Hey, what's up, Joe? How you doing? The India Skate Network. Good to see you. Hope you are all doing well, sir. You know where I think that movie would shine where M. Night Shyamalan would shine the most is like, I don't want to say kid-friendly horror movies. It's not kid-friendly, but something like the, and I know he was going to do Tales from the Crypt. I think he would have excelled really well at Tales from the Crypt. I'm sad that they canceled that before anybody got to see it. But he would excel in like the what was it, the Fear Street movies, stuff like that. Maybe a little bit more than that, a little bit more horror, like, but for younger demographic, I feel like he could excel really well at that. And I think he wants to be Hitchcock, but I don't think he's on Hitchcock's level. But we got to stop counting M. Night Shyamalan out as a bad filmmaker. We really do. Like so many people, it's like I came to defense of him the other day. I'll come defense of him now, motherfuckers. Nickelback isn't that bad. Nickelback and M. Night Shyamalan are fine. I think we got to a point where it was popular to hate him. I think that happened with Star Wars too, and then they made shitty movies and then really made us hate them. But the more I think about it, I think like things like, and let's get rid of Nickelback now. It's not strengthening my argument. But M. Night Shyamalan is a good filmmaker, and he makes good movies that last. I know fans of his, like people who I watch his movies multiple times, like I'll watch Trap again. I will watch Knock at the Cabin again. That one's a little more brutal for me to have rewatchability because there's not enough horror or suspense to go with it. It's a good thriller. Suspense was okay, but like there wasn't enough of it to keep drawing me back like a horror movie would, like, or a good thriller would. It was good though. I will watch it again, but maybe one or two other times. Yeah, but yeah, when it comes to M. Night Shyamalan, Unbreakable will always be one. Split, another great one. You get like Glass sucked. Yes, that's probably his worst movie. Can we not keep giving him shit just because we had a bad movie? Devil is good. I just think we hold people to certain standards of, especially their first film. Think about doing anything for the first time ever, and you did really well at it. And then they're like, okay, come back and do it tomorrow. Essentially that's what it would be like. Yeah, it's like a couple of years later and make another movie, and like he did. Unbreakable knocked it out of the park. I thought it was a great movie. It just wasn't the same. That's the thing about I really like about it, is like, because even when you watch Split versus Unbreakable or Glass, they're different movies. It's actually I'm very surprised he made Glass. I don't know if he was rushed. I don't know if the studio rushed this or not. Keep this man away from studios. Studios, give them your money, but just keep them away from studios. Let them just tell a movie, and then I think you can get something like Trap, which is enjoyable. Like 3 out of 5 stars. That's pretty good. So a lot of people were hating on it. They said they felt trapped. They said they felt ridiculous. There's a lot of answers for all the stuff that people are complaining about. So I don't really know what they're talking. That ending was a little convoluted. We kind of went all over the place, but I didn't hate that either. It just was too long, in my opinion. I feel like after we get to it, like it was too long once you got there before he finds out about the somebody in his family. That's what I said. Once he finds out that twist about somebody, it was still feeling long at that point because it was just becoming too crazy. And there was still no anchor character like a Loomis. Like Haley Mills was there, but she was only there for certain things. Like, I don't know how much she can do, but they didn't seem to have her doing much. So, but she did shine when she was in it, like I said. But I don't want to go back to my review of it. I just want to say M. Night Shyamalan, in defense of you, I think you're a good filmmaker. Can't wait to see what else you got coming out. Please, no more tie-ins. Please don't tie in Trap with anything. Let's just have fun and make crazy movies. And I think that I would just be overjoyed. And that's surprising. I did talk about that for like 15 minutes, didn't I? I'm very surprised. But I don't have a mixed movie pick tonight. I have a Paul's movie pick. This is supposed to be Paul's takeover episode. He's sick, unfortunately. So like I said, I'll be doing it. Paul's movie pick is from 1927. He picked a silent film. He picked Metropolis. This is a fantastic film. And we did a full classic film review, which will be out tomorrow or Thursday, one of the next couple of days, over on our Patreon. You can go watch that or follow, like I said, and go hang out. But it is a fantastic sci-fi movie, great silent era film. If you haven't had a chance to check this out and you're a film fan, I think you will love it. I do not think you'll love it. I don't think you'll love any silent films if you're not a film fan. If you're just like sort of I watch what comes out and I enjoy it, maybe stay away from the cinephile-y stuff, but check it out if you want. See what it's all about. But Metropolis was a fantastic movie. And I don't want to give too much away because I did do a full review and video about it. But good pick, Paul. Thank you so much for picking that one. Guys, again, join up on our Patreon. We have a giveaway going on right now. Deadpool popcorn bucket and a Wolverine souvenir cup. And it also comes with the topper, the souvenir cup of Wolverine figure. It's pretty cool. So go and just follow. All you got to do is become a member on our Patreon. You don't have to do the paid. You can do the free, and you're entered in to win this. Once we reach 100 followers over there, members over there on Patreon, we will spin a wheel and pick 2 winners for each of these lovely items, or we will definitely spin the wheel by August 20th if we don't reach 100. So it's coming up, and we're going to do more giveaways too. I'm already planning up and lining up some more, so I hope you guys can be a part of it. Join up. Thank you again to our sponsor StubHub. Go check them out, get your tickets. Our links are down below. I talked about them earlier. We love you, StubHub, and thank you again. You were so easy when I got my tickets for AJR, and I just enjoyed the concert on Friday night. Thank you again. But yeah, I just want to say, guys, I really truly appreciate you jumping in. If you are listening to the podcast or watching this, yeah, please join up on the Patreon. Like I said, we're trying to make that the hub. It gets you into our Discord, free and paid tiers. We're trying to open it up and keep it for whoever wants to be a part of the Snob Nation and just be there with us. So we don't want to like try and push people like, yeah, great. Like if you become a paid member, that's a huge help to us. That helps us build the channel. I want to build these shows out to be longer. My ultimate goal is to have a channel on TV doing this with all different types of stuff, different types of people, and different types of shows. So I'm building out to that, but I feel like it's important to get the community together. So I'm choosing Patreon and, you know, of course, our Discord as our hubs for now. So no more sporadic all over the internet. Or go check this out, go check that out. We're going to have all our stuff over there. We're going to do all this stuff, and we're moving over there to shows and do live events, things like that. We'd love you to stay in the know and play for it, play with it, and have a good time. So, and then if you want to pay for it, jump in. But that's how that works. Sorry for the big push, but we are moving behind Patreon wall in 9 episodes, so I kind of have to get the word out there. So don't hate me for it. But make sure you join up next Sunday. That's right, Sundays. Oh, it says 9 p.m. It's supposed to be 9 a.m. It is a morning show. You're going to jump in, and we're going to be talking some fun topics, so make sure to join in for that. Get Geeks Live is going to be all new tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. Then, of course, I am on Crossing the Streams with Jeff Dwoskin. Truly a wonderful guy. Thank him for so much for having me on his show. But I appreciate you guys for being a part of this, hanging out with me. And hopefully you're having fun. But until next time, remember, everybody, you got to like, follow, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. If you're watching this as a podcast, please rate and review us. Give us a follow. Let us know you're watching us. Let us know you like us. Comment along. We appreciate it. And I know I sound silly doing that, but I do appreciate it. It really means a lot to me when you guys do. And then, of course, if you're, you're watching this and such, we really appreciate you guys as well here on YouTube. And, but until next time, remember to be kind, stay classy, and take care of yourselves. Bye.